We went into goats originally for regrowth control due to the high cost of controlling timber. Since then the market just kept going up and up and up, and we just sort of rode that wave and still going there, and it's, yeah, here we are.
I guess long term, we've loved ag. Joe and I have always loved ag, and we've always wanted to be part of that. And so we saw in the earlier years with our daughters how hard it was. They would see, you know, feeding cattle or, you know, pulling sheep out of the bog or something like that. And so they turned away from ag, and that scared both Joe and I, that we were so passionate about it, but we couldn't instill that into our children. Since we've gone 100% goats, both the girls are very passionate. They have ownership sort of over the goats. And I don't know, I just love goats. I think goats are great, so very passionate about goats.
Running sheep, cattle business, it was pretty full on between labour with the sheep, large animal and drought seasons. It wasn't a lot of fun most of the time, just due to the run-off seasons we had. So yeah, we're probably in a lot better frame of mind, and it's better decision making, things flow on. Yeah, they've come back, you know, second place, successions, you know, talked about now, whereas 10, 15 years ago it wasn't. It was sort of, so no, it's opened up a lot of doors. Yeah. Yeah, going into them for regrowth control at the start has paid off. Now actually at the stage of managing our regrowth for the feed source for next year with rotation spelling, wet season spelling, rotation grazing. To manage the regrowth, we don't want to kill it, we just want it to come back. Regrowth control of mechanical means, it's just too expensive these days, and in this current climate with, you know, now fuel prices, it's going to grind to a halt. We are putting a lot of time and money into improving our genetics, but that's for a long-term view. Market's very good at the moment. It might drop in the future. So if you've got a quality animal, you will always be ahead of the market. So that's what we're aiming for. That's why we're putting so much money in. It's a long-term view. So, you know, position ourselves best for the future. Having fenced and, you know, being in total control of our pasture, even with the rough trotter season we've had, the small falls do mean something now, because we don't get the huge migratory plague of kangaroos and wallabies that clean you out, even though you might have destocked early in the piece, and then you still end up, you know, worse off, probably worse off than everyone else who didn't. So the investment's just paid off. There's definitely more markets to open up. Domestic market hasn't been touched, you know, paddock to plate hasn't been touched. There's all these little niche things we've seen the cattle industry do and the lamb industry do. That's all ahead of us. Coming back to the industry, there probably needs to be a fair bit more research and money put back into the producer level. So it's a pretty early industry, even though it has been around in some shape or form for years. It hasn't really been developed yet.
I would like to see actual benchmarking happening within the rangeland producers, and just to see what genetics are making a difference within the goat industry. And traceability is a huge one, I think. You know, as an industry, we need to start tagging our goats, so we've got some sort of ownership. We are able to get our numbers of how many livestock, like goats, we've got within Australia, and then we can grow our markets that way. Moving forward, I think we are getting that innovation coming into the goat industry. A lot of young people are coming in because, you know, you can have a herd of 30 goats, and how they're going to make that work, they're going to use innovation.